How's it going, everybody? Football Rob here, breaking down the Minnesota Timberwolves game against the Orlando Magic. They defeated the Magic, went into the Amway Center, came away with a victory that snapped their three-game losing skid, 123 to 107. They are now 2-5 on the season. And they played flawless basketball for about 90% of this game. They led from wire to wire, and it was a much more complete performance than what we saw from them last night against Brooklyn. And quite frankly, if I didn't know any better, I would have thought that this game against Orlando was the first game of the back-to-back, and the game against the Nets was the second game, because they were just so discombobulated against the Nets. They were leaving open shooters to hit threes. They were not protecting the glass. They were allowing easy forays into the paint. And they cleared a lot of that up against Orlando. So, I think this also is a testament to how young they are. They're going to have nights where they kind of play flat defensively because, the average age of their starting five, they're the second youngest team in the league. Second only to the Suns, because their starting five averages 22 years and 279 days old. So there's not a lot of experience there. The first thing I want to talk about in this game, I know that Elfrid Payton, the point guard for the Magic, I knew he had floppy, wacky hair, but his hair is gone to a new level of wackiness. He has Donald Trump hair. It was just flapping in the wind every time he would bring the ball up. And I was like, this guy really needs to he needs a lawnmower, okay, to get rid of that stuff. And, that's number one. The rest of the game, I thought that, basically the Minnesota Timberwolves, they came out firing. They were up 28-12 at one point. Orlando had to burn 3 timeouts in the first quarter. Minnesota, they were contesting shots around the rim. They were getting their offensive rebounds, active hands defensively. They were passing. They were very aggressive getting to the rim. And every shot was going in. So the Timberwolves set the tone for the entire game in the first quarter, in my opinion. In the second quarter, it was much of the same. Second quarter was even worse, though, for the Magic, because there was they seemed desperate. They were taking desperate shots, and the Wolves were just feeding off of that, and it led to a 30-point bulge at one point that the Timberwolves had, and at halftime it was 74-47. That happened to be the most points by a Tom Thibodeau coached team in one half in his entire coaching career, which is pretty remarkable when you consider how many good teams he had coached before in Chicago. So that was very eye-opening to me. But, even though they had a huge lead at halftime, every team makes a run. So I was very interested to stay tuned to see just how the Timberwolves would handle whatever Orlando would make a run. And of course, in basketball, that's just how it is. I thought Zach LaVine really stepped up in the third quarter. Every time Orlando got close, or not even, they never got close. The closest Orlando ever got in the second half, they got to within 11 points of the Timberwolves. That was the closest they got. But every time they would make a little run, Zach LaVine came up with a big play, whether it was a jump shot, whether it was a three-point shot, whether it was a steal, an assist, a hockey assist, one of those 2 passes later, somebody's open. Didn't matter. He made every play he needed to make. He tied his career high tonight with 37 points. He shot 7 of 9 from downtown. This guy is just taking his game to a whole new level, and he didn't have a single turnover in the ball game. So he was protecting the ball at all times. And of course, Karl Anthony Towns did his usual double-double, 20 points, 11 boards, couple of steals in there as well. I mean, this guy is truly a treat to watch. And he stayed out of foul trouble the whole game. He played 40 minutes tonight. Andrew Wiggins, also another great performance by him. 10 of 18 from the field, shooting at about a 56% clip. And he just looks so much more comfortable with that jump shot. It's like automatic now. And he's not only a three-point specialist now, but now he can hit mid-range jump shots as well. That's like a forgotten art in the NBA game. So all of that translates into an easy Minnesota win. The last little note that I wanted to go over before I end this video, it looks to me, the eyeball test tells me that Tyus Jones is now the starting point guard of this team. With Ricky Rubio injured, Chris Dunn, the first-round draft pick, the lottery pick for the Timberwolves, he's been getting the start at point guard, but all the significant minutes go to Tyus Jones now. 30 minutes for Tyus Jones, 17 for Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn had very little impact on this ball game. 2 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, that's basically, he's playing himself onto the bench. Meanwhile, Tyus Jones, coming off a career game last night against Brooklyn, he had 10 points. I'm not saying that this guy's a world beater. 10 points, 5 assists, no turnovers, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. He's filling up the stat sheet. He's doing yeoman's work, both offensively and defensively. He hit a couple of threes. I say that even though Dunn's in the starting lineup, it looks like Tyus Jones has surpassed him on the depth chart. So we'll just have to keep our eye out for that. Next coming up for the Timberwolves, they will be facing the Clippers at home. They're coming back to Minnesota on Saturday, and they'll have 4 consecutive home games before they hit the road again. So we'll be watching that for sure. Thank you for tuning in. That's all I have for right now. It's Football Rob signing off.